Correcting things from Saturday, and then went to work and got our guys here this morning and started with a great Monday practice. Meetings number one, and then practice. And I thought it was just overall in all three phases what we needed today, and a good start to the week. I look at what PJ Fleck has done. He's done such a great job developing the brand of Minnesota football in his 9th season. They've recruited really, really well. I've looked at every really layer or level of their roster. It's a strong roster with good players at every position. He's had consistency really in a world where consistency is hard. So a lot of respect for what he has continued to accomplish. And then you watch him play. I'm impressed, number one, with what they do schematically, really in all three phases. They've got playmakers all over the field on both sides of the ball. And then how hard they play is something that has stood out to me since I've watched his teams play well before I came into this conference, but then more specifically after being in for 10 months. I look at knowing their roster. I think we recruit against some of the same type of kids. Drake Lindsey, their quarterback, I've known for years and years and years. Close family friends with he and his family from Fayetteville, Arkansas. His dad, John David, was a great player as well years ago, and I think his grandfather, Jim Lindsey, played for the Minnesota Vikings for a number of years. So there's some connections, and there always is as you get into this game for a number of years. But I think it starts offensively with him. He's a complete player, plays extremely smart. He's got a huge arm. I know what type of competitor he is. And then you look at them defensively and the way they play, aggressive, assignment sound, and play extremely hard. So they're 3-2, and it'll be a night game in conference play at their place. And what a great environment and what a great night for college football. Our team will work really, really hard this week in preparation, and we'll be ready to go play our best ball in all three phases, and we're excited about that chance. So.
Can you kind of go into more detail on that, just how that connection with the Lindsey family? And
yeah, we lived in Fayetteville, Arkansas for 3 years. My son and Garrett and Drake became buddies. They were on the same team, and so Drake was the quarterback before him. And then when we moved to town there, the Lindseys have one of the largest real estate companies in that area of the country, and got to know John David through that.
Just to follow up on Saturday, did you get an update on Jalen St. John and how long?
Yeah, he was limited today for any work that we did. We'll know a lot more tomorrow. I do think Jalen's a fast healer on what I've seen before. So, hopefully get some work in tomorrow, extended work, and kind of see where it's at. There's a difference in getting back in all these injuries, getting back and being cleared, but are you cleared to play at the level you need to, in this type of game? So we'll get a pretty good indicator tomorrow on that.
Just how important does it feel to replicate what the running game did last week in order for this offense to reach a ceiling that it seems like it's still kind of striving for?
Yeah, I think it's so important. And you look at missed opportunities. If we would have been able to connect on some of those, what could have been. But again, like I said, Saturday, I've got to quit talking about what might have been, what could have been, what we left out there. But the run game, that will help everything out. And we've had multiple guys that step in and played the other day. I thought Maccabee's running like he is. He's extremely tough, and he's a great competitor. And then Antonio stepped in and obviously had a big-time role for us the other day. So I think that's going to continue to grow for what we're doing. And then, they were big the other day in protection as well, the running backs I'm talking about. So we got to be able to run the ball. I've said that from day one, and I think, Saturday was a step in the right direction for that.
Barry, Josh was talking about the receivers, and I had asked about having several different guys step up. Kind of each game, it's been a different receiver that's been the standout, and Corey Smith with his big one the other day. And he said, we need somebody to step up and be consistent and kind of put up those numbers every week. How do you get to that to where there's almost like a guy who's feared by the other defense that opens things up for everybody?
I think you've got to prove that on game day, but then before that, you've got to prove it in your habits throughout the week, and continue to believe and think in we're always going to be in a position that I really don't care, what the jersey number is. You're going to get the opportunities that you create for yourself. And I think Corey has gotten better every single week. I think that there's guys that also continue to make plays, but we're going to have to make consistent plays, and how important that is. And that's going to take a room full of guys. And I don't know that we're going to have just one guy that you go in each and every week on, hey, this is the guy of the week. It's going to kind of come within what we design throughout the week, and then they're going to earn the number of reps they get.
You being a former linebacker and a defensive coordinator, being a defensive guy, is maybe the frustrating thing is the offense seems like it's played well enough to win these last 3 weeks, and you've got 3 losses?
Well, I think you look at, I don't know that we played, Notre Dame beat us. I mean, I don't know how, they beat us. So the other 2 losses, credit to Southern Cal and credit to Illinois, they also beat us. So can we play consistent football, winning football in all 3 phases? And it takes all 3. The early fumble that we had on the reception that Mike Jack got it punched out, that was, at that point, you go score and you're 14-3, and then things are a little bit different, but that's not reality. So dealing in truth and honesty and reality, all 3 phases have to get better, and we got to play smarter, complementary football.
You mentioned this being a night game, and because of some ill-timed weather delays, it'll be your 4th night game really this season. Is there something to be said about experience playing under the lights and having done it now, I guess, 4 times in 6 games?
Yeah, I think you look, the chance to be at an away game, and then, the opportunities that presents for you, throughout the week to, you buy a couple more hours, honestly, the way I look at it. And, we get a chance to travel, and then we can travel 74 guys. So getting those 74 guys game ready, and then how do you, the Friday evening meetings and the walkthroughs, and then Saturday throughout the day, on doing everything you can to get in position when the ball's kicked off, to be able to play under the lights. I think any of our players would say that they're excited about playing under the lights. They really like that part of the games, and we got to plan for what our Saturday looks like in the hotel, to spend as much time in the prep world as we can, give them a little bit of downtime, but also just trying to do everything we can to play our best ball.
Barry, you had a lot of candor, a lot of frankness after the game Saturday. You've had time to rest, watch film. Is your assessment basically the same, or
I hold true to, we all saw what we saw, and it's we're not good enough yet. I've done, and my staff and myself, we haven't done a good enough job getting them ready to go play winning football for 4 quarters. So that's the chase, and that's the pursuit. And I don't like living in the world of, the gray area or what might have been or what could have been. The truth always comes after but. Well, we did all these things, but we came up short. We got beat, and it's my job to get that fixed. So, we can, I believe in truth and honesty and reality. And, you got to look in the mirror. It's my job to get it fixed, and that's our passion to do everything we can to get this team to play the way we need to win games.
Just what a win would mean right now, coming off 3 losses in a row, especially with the bad taste from the Illinois game.
Yeah, I think you look, this. I'm not trying to be coach talk with this, but it also, I want to move past the last game. You learn from your experiences, but if we're sitting there letting that, spend any time other than the lessons learned from that game, if we're spending any more wasted energy on that, that's not. I don't think that's healthy for, what a team and a competitor and a staff is supposed to do. So now you can't just say, hey, it's okay, we'll go get the next one, because you've got to take those experiences that you had, the good things, and then the bad things that cost us to not play winning ball, and you've got to correct them. So I use that more as the motivation than coming off a defeat.
What's the mood of the team right now?
I mentioned we had a really good start to, we don't see them on Sunday, so, that's the players' day off. that's required by rules. So they had, they were in the training room and obviously academic responsibilities. So Monday morning's really our first time to have the team together. And, I thought there were, you can judge emotions a number of different ways: body language, feelings, communication. And the indicators for me on once we got in meetings, out of meetings, onto the practice field, we looked like a team that was hungry to go play better ball.
Is going on the road maybe, does that come at good times for teams, sort of a circle the wagons mentality, get out of town?
Oh, I don't know. I love playing in Ross-Ade. I think there's magic in that stadium, and we're going to eventually show it. We didn't the other night or the other day, but man, I like everything about playing at home. I think it's one of the great environments in college football. So you look at now the opportunity to go on the road, and we'll use it in a way that is us against everybody. I think that's one thing that most teams do when you go on the road, especially in conference, how important that is to approach it with the right mentality.
Can you give us any update on Tony Grimes?
He practiced today, so I would, as long as he's able to go practice tomorrow, I would say he would be ready to participate.
Any other questions for Coach? All right.
We good, guys? Thanks. Have a great week.